Welcome back. Miss you guys. I know some of you are probably relaxing at home, but also doing some work. Today we are going to cover IR verbs in the past tense and the preterite. Okay? And to begin to review, let's begin with this silly video.
Whoa, what a night!
Hey, Pablo! What happened last night? That music! It was so loud and so bad!
It's Toño and Toña. They're in a band and they play all night. The night before last, en mi casa, nadie durmió en toda la noche. Les pedí silencio, pero nada. Shh. Y ayer, ellos durmieron todo el día.
Pablo, I have an idea! Toño! Toña!
Billy, they're sleeping.
How do you like this? Leave us alone! We only slept 2 hours last night! Ja. Cuando Pablo les pidió silencio, no hicieron nada.
As you saw in the video, there were a lot of verbs in the past tense that were used. And most of these verbs ended with IR, ir. For example, pedir, which means to ask. When you conjugate it, is yo pedí. Notice that there's no changes. The stem and the end. The end, you do what you usually do, you conjugate it, you change it based on who's doing the action. In the past tense of IR verbs, the yo ending is I with an accent. Yo pedí. For tú is iste. You keep the stem, ped, and you add the ending, pediste. Now, notice that there's no changes here, but when you get to él, ella, and usted, you have a stem change. You have a change right here in the root of the word. The I changed to an I. Pidió. You still use the same ending as usual, as regular verbs in the past tense, but you have a stem change. Not in tú, not in yo, but in él, ella, and usted. If you continue seeing the conjugation of the verb, and nosotros, there's no change in verb. There's no stem change here. Goes back to normal. Notice, pedimos. En vosotros, there's no stem change either. Pedisteis. But look, ellos, ellas, and ustedes have a stem change. The I changed to an I. Pidieron, just like él, ella, and usted. So that is the case for these verbs. Verbs that end with IR have a stem change in él, ella, and usted, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Nowhere else. Let's look at the other verb. Dormir, to sleep. Notice dorm is the stem, is the root of the word. Ir is the ending. So what happens when you conjugate it? Yo dormí, I slept. Tú dormiste, you slept. Now when you get to él, ella, and usted, there's a change. The O changes to a U. Durmió. Él durmió. Ella durmió. Ana durmió. Jacob durmió. Él, ella, and usted has the change. But when you go back to nosotros, it goes back to normal. No stem change in this. Notice that. Dormimos. Dormisteis for vosotros. And again, in ellos, ellas, and ustedes, there is a stem change. The O changed to a U. Durmieron. And that's what we're going to learn about today. Remember that many IR verbs have stem changes in the present tense. Now, these verbs change stems in some places, just depending who is doing the action. For example, the stem changing IR verbs in the preterite change only in usted, él, ella, and also changes in ustedes, ellos, ellas. So if we look at analyze this, the E changes to an I, F-E, F-E. And the O changes to a U. And that would be the only stem change that you'll have with these verbs. For example, pedir, which means to ask, has a change when you conjugate it. Yo pedí, there's no change. Tú pediste, there's no change. But él, ella, and usted has a change. The E changed to an I. Pidió, he asked. Pedimos, we ask. Pedisteis, vosotros, using the vosotros form. And again, pidieron is when you have the other change again. So the E changed to an I, and usted, él, and ella only. Everywhere else, it stays the same. Now let's look at the verb dormir, which is to sleep. The O changed to a U. Only in él, ella, and usted, and in the ellos, ellas, and ustedes form. So when you're saying I slept, you don't have a stem change. Yo dormí. When you say you slept, there's no stem change either. Tú dormiste. But when you're referring to he, she, or él, ella, or usted, there is a stem change. Él durmió. Notice how the O changed to a U. Nosotros dormimos. There's no stem change when we're referring to ourselves. We slept. There's no stem change. Dormimos. Dormisteis. Vosotros dormisteis. There's no stem change either. Durmieron. There is a stem change when you're referring to them. The O changed to a U. Durmieron. Ellos durmieron. Now, here it says, what did they ask for at the market? So we're referring to they. Notice that is there a stem change in they? Yes, there's a stem change, right? What is the verb? Ask. So pidieron. ¿Qué pidieron en el mercado? Let's look at dormir now. Sulma slept 10 hours last night. Sulma falls in the category of él, ella, and usted because Sulma is a woman, it's a she. So slept, past tense. Is there a stem change in él, ella, and usted? Yes, there is. Right here. The O changed to a U. Sulma durmió 10 horas anoche. Now, if you follow this same format, you will know that there will always be a stem changes in él, ella, and usted, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes. For example, preferir, to prefer, follows the same pattern. Has a change in él, ella, and usted, and also in ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Servir, to serve, also follows the same pattern. Vestirse, to get dressed. Competir, to compete. Seguir, to follow. They all follow the same thing, okay? There's no stem changes anywhere else in the past tense except in él, ella, and usted. I hope you remember that, and I'll see you next time.